I know you'll keep Gotham safe. Good luck. And goodbye.
Hey guys, welcome to my channel. Happy New Year. 2021 is finally here. My name is ArghGodzirra, and today we'll be counting down my selections for the top 10 most anticipated video game releases of 2021. Provided none on this list get delayed, of course. What better way to kick off the year than to show you guys the games that I'm not only most anticipated to play, but it's going to serve as an insight to all of you guys at home to see what type of content you can expect to see hitting the channel throughout the course of the year. Amongst a lot of other new projects I have planned as well. Yep, I'm fixing on taking 2021 and beyond by storm, ladies and gentlemen. But that's enough from me. Let's get into this list. Number 10. Evil Dead, the game.
Necronomicon Ex Mortis, the Book of the Dead.
Evil Dead the game, a third-person shooter being developed by Saber Interactive, you know, those guys who made World War Z. They announced this during this year's Game Awards and completely caught me off guard. I'm a huge horror fan, huge Evil Dead fan, and this really excites me. Along with the Necronomicon Ex Mortis, the debut trailer showcases some familiar faces from the beloved Evil Dead franchise. Most importantly, the iconic Ash Williams by Bruce Campbell himself, wielding that chainsaw, baby. Oh, he looks so good. As far as the gameplay goes, not much has been said. However, it has been announced that there's going to be both co-op and PvP modes, with the PvP mode having a team of 4 players working together to seal the breach between worlds, and another player taking control of the powerful Kandarian demon to hunt Ash and his friends down. So this is going to be part co-op, part asymmetrical horror, kind of like Dead by Daylight, Friday the 13th, last year, games like that, which I am down for. According to Saber Interactive, those playing as the demon will be able to possess deadites, the environment around them, and the survivors themselves. I seriously cannot wait to dive headfirst into this game. Number 9. Far Cry 6. Now, with Far Cry 6, just as other games that are going to be on this list, there's not much information that has been given to us about the gameplay or the story behind the game or anything else. But with Far Cry 6, what we do know is the game is set on Yara, a fictional Caribbean island ruled as a dictatorship by El Presidente Anton Castillo, more recognizable as Giancarlo Esposito, you know, the burnt-faced guy from Breaking Bad.
Jesse.
And he's raising his son Diego to follow in his rule. And I thought maybe in the trailers that we could be the son that is being brought up, and then he's going to get killed, and then the game is going to be us kind of taking over as El Presidente. I thought that could have been a cool concept. But it has been confirmed that the player will be taking control of a guerrilla fighter known as Danny Rojas, attempting to topple Castillo and his regime. So it's kind of like every other Far Cry game that we've been given, where we try to overthrow the big leader. It's a trope that Far Cry has made very synonymous with their games. However, if it can deliver what they did with Far Cry 3 and Far Cry 4, because if I'm being completely honest with you, Far Cry 5 didn't really feel as immersive as Far Cry 3 and 4 did for myself. I'm not knocking Far Cry 5. I played it, I loved it. But Far Cry 3 and Far Cry 4, I feel, dragged you into the story a lot more than Far Cry 5 did. We can argue that another day. But Far Cry 6 is definitely something to keep your eye out for.
You understand now? Prove it.
Number 8. Oddworld Soulstorm.
What are they doing? Did those fugitive morons burn down their own hideout?
It's been almost 23 years since we last controlled Abe on a solo adventure, because I'm not counting Oddworld Munch's Odyssey in any way, shape or form. But finally, the time has come for us to return. Abe's Odyssey was one of the very first games I ever played on the PlayStation 1. I had a demo disc, which came with my PlayStation. I put it in, it was the first game I booted up, and as soon as I played that demo, we went straight to the shops to go buy that game. I fell in love with that IP the very second I dove into it. Similar to Abe's outings in the past, this game is a 2.5D side-scrolling platform game, which sees Abe return, and his goal is to save his fellow Muddikins from slave labour. Basically, he's freed them from Rupture Farms, he's done everything else, but they're still under the hard ruling fist, and it's time for them to be set free, and Abe is here to do it again. The game features a new crafting system, which I'm really excited about, because Abe can now craft and customize different weapons. That is huge. I can't wait to dive into that mechanic. While the game is mostly linear, it also features a massive train hub area where players can access new levels and areas. We haven't seen much of it, but just of what they have said with the crafting system and what they've added to the game, with already how brilliant we know an Oddworld title is going to be, I cannot wait to dive into Abe's feet again.
Wait here.
Hey, why'd you hold up?
I could go for a sandwich right now.
We gotta get out of here. Come on, let's get out of here.
My tummy's growling.
Number 7. The Lord of the Rings, Gollum. Talk about a game that we know nothing about, because I fucking know nothing about The Lord of the Rings, Gollum. They've pretty much said that it's going to be like Shadow of Mordor, but you're playing as Gollum, and from the screenshots we've been given and the trailers we've seen, it's a bit more of a cartoony vibe when it comes to the art style, which I'm all for. I love art styles like that. But we haven't really been told much about the game's core story, what it's going to involve, what point in time are we going to be controlling Gollum in. Whatever the case may be, I love The Lord of the Rings. I'm a huge fan of the films, I've got the books, I played the video games, and it's just natural that The Lord of the Rings Gollum would be on my list. I'm just hoping it doesn't falter and fails to deliver what it's promising. Whatever the fuck it's promising, because I seriously have no idea.
What's status, precious?
Number 6. Back 4 Blood. This announcement at the Game Awards really got me hyped as well, because it's being developed by Turtle Rock, the original developer of the Left 4 Dead series, and it excites me more so because anybody could step in and make a zombie shooter or pick up and make another Left 4 Dead game, but you wouldn't have the atmosphere, the energy, the personality, the essence that Left 4 Dead has due to the fact that Turtle Rock created that IP. And now that we're going to be diving into a spiritual successor of Left 4 Dead that looks this good on the surface is really exciting. And I know I've said exciting a few times so far when talking about Back 4 Blood, but that's because I'm really fucking excited. Looking like it's going to be another multiplayer game, which I'm all down for, especially in the scope of being a Left 4 Dead successor. Left 4 Dead is a brilliant game, and I'm hoping that Back 4 Blood, which is very, very greatly named by the way, because Turtle Rock returning and they're getting involved. Do you get it? It's a play on words, and it's really cool. I am hoping that this can live up to the hype and the standard, the bar that Left 4 Dead has set before it, because if it does, this is going to be one hell of an experience. Number 5. Gotham Knights. As soon as I saw this game announced, I lost my mind. I'm a huge fan of the Batman Arkham series, and even though I thought that this game was kind of a sequel to what happened, it's been said that it's in an alternate timeline, so I'm curious to see how that goes down, but whatever the case may be, this game's story takes place sometime after Batman's death, which is why I thought it was linked to the Arkham series. The GCPD has grown corrupt because James Gordon has died as well. There's a rise of crime and lawlessness, and the city's just falling into the depths, leaving Batman's allies, Nightwing, Batgirl, Robin, and Red Hood, as the only ones able to restore justice to Gotham. I said justice. But they're restoring justice, and to prevent it from descending into chaos. At some point during the game, the heroes will come into conflict with the Court of Owls, and all of that's going to go down as well. But from the gameplay they've showed, this looks incredibly promising, especially as a two-player co-op game, with the second player being able to drop in at any point of your game without disrupting the progress, which I think is absolutely brilliant. I'm keen to check out a bit of Nightwing, a bit of Robin, a bit of Red Hood, and a bit of Batgirl. I don't care who I play as. This game looks great, and I can't wait to dive into the streets of Gotham again. Number 4. Hogwarts Legacy.
Magic, both beautiful and powerful, binds together our long history.
Seriously, if you didn't get excited when you saw Hogwarts Legacy announced, there's something wrong with you. I am so keen to finally get into an RPG style game involved within the Harry Potter universe. Hogwarts Legacy will be set in the late 1800s, following a student at Hogwarts. Plain and simple. This information here, however, is some things that I've only recently found out, and it gets me really excited. Because it says the player will get to choose their Hogwarts house, so the hat's not going to choose for us. We get to have input just like the hat does in the film and the books. And we get to attend classes at Hogwarts as well, exploring an open world consisting of locations including the Forbidden Forest and Hogsmeade Village. In the game, the player character will learn to cast various magical spells, brew potions, tame magical beasts, and master other combat abilities. The main point I want to make here, which excites me the most, a morality system will also play a role in the game. So we can be as angelic as Harry Potter, or as dark and twisted as he who shall not be named. I love that fact. Any game that has a morality system that actively plays into the universe around you, if done correctly, is absolutely brilliant. It's why I like games like Dishonored. It's why I like games like Infamous. I hope they really deliver on this game. I really do. This is one of the games that I am praying, fingers crossed, comes out perfectly, no hitches, and delivers one hell of an experience, because I think the Harry Potter universe is begging for it.
The journey ahead will reveal what you stand for.
Number 3. Deathloop.
I am trying to focus, you son of a bitch!
As soon as I saw this game, guys, let me tell you what. I'm a huge Quentin Tarantino fan, and when it comes to his films, the quirkiness he brings is some absolutely brilliant cinematic work. And this game feels very Quentin Tarantino-esque in delivery. You're playing as a for-hire assassin stuck in a time loop who is actively being hunted by another for-hire assassin. I know, incredible, right? Every time you die, you retain the information that you've learnt, but the world around you is completely oblivious to what's gone down. But yet, every time you die and the loop restarts, this assassin is still going to be coming after you every time. The biggest draw for me with this game, and I'm looking forward to playing both sides of the spectrum here, it features a multiplayer aspect in which the player can alternatively take control of Juliana, who is the agent tasked to protect the timeline and take out the assassin that you're playing as in the main game, whose name is Colt. When the player takes this role, they will enter a random player's game, and you're able to interact and physically prevent that player from continuing his task. Imagine just being able to dive into a random's game, they could be live streaming for example, and you're just giving this poor bastard hell and they're just losing their mind. What a concept. I also like the idea of doing a series where we focus as Juliana and we only interrupt other players playing this game. That'd be fantastic. That'd be so good. But man, I am ready to start causing some rage and start taking other assassins down worldwide. Number 2. Resident Evil 8 Village.
Chris,
What the hell? Take him away.
What more can I say? If you guys honestly thought there was going to be a list for most ambitious... What more can I really say? If you guys didn't think there wasn't going to be a Resident Evil game on this list, you seriously haven't been paying attention to what's been going down on this channel. I am one of the biggest Resident Evil fanboys you will ever come across. And when they released this, I lost my motherfucking mind. There is a video on the channel actually showing that I lost my mind because I did a trailer reaction. It was one of the first trailer reactions I ever did. But Ethan Winters is returning as the main character. Chris Redfield is coming back to the franchise, and in a more familiar state as well. Not how he looked at the end of Resident Evil 7, but he's looking more Resident Evil 5, Resident Evil 6, which I do appreciate. Thank you, Capcom. It's now involving things like werewolves and witches, which I'm all for. I'm all down for Resident Evil stepping down a more supernatural path. We got to get away from Raccoon City and everything that happened there. Resident Evil 4 was a huge step in that point. I feel Resident Evil Village is going to be another stepping point for the franchise that opens up the door for future possibilities. I really want this to succeed. Resident Evil 7 was absolutely phenomenal. I loved it. Return to the horror roots, first person camera. I absolutely loved the first person. A lot of people were against it. I thought it was absolutely brilliant for the franchise. Will this game deliver? I have high hopes it does. I know a lot of people that have high hopes it does. It's a Resident Evil game, and even if it does falter, I feel the fanboy in me is going to love it regardless. I cannot wait to play this.
If it's just looking, window shop away.
Number 1, Horizon Forbidden West.
I will be ready.
I feel when it comes to video games, this is going to be in most anticipated releases lists, if not at least in the top 3 of every one of those videos. Horizon Zero Dawn is absolutely phenomenal. It is one of my favourite games of all time. The second I sat down and played it, I fell in love. I loved the concept of having like the old, the old people, everything from the past that is what we're living in now. And then you've got the future, which is regressed to kind of caveman style kind of things. But you've got all the mechanics and everything that is now living creatures, and oh my god, it just was so beautiful. The landscapes and everything about it was just so genuinely beautiful to look at and to experience. And Forbidden West just takes that in leaps and bounds and multiplies it by 100. The biggest thing I'm looking forward to with this is the fact that they've added underwater exploration to the game. When you've got creatures teased in the trailer and the gameplay that they've kind of shown off with crocodiles kind of swimming around, when you're underwater, you're going to be very vulnerable. So I'm keen to see how they involve mechanics for combat and stuff underwater as well. But the landscapes just look more lush and beautiful, because you got to think with the first one, we did have open plains and stuff, but there was a lot of snow. Whereas out in the Forbidden West, it looks very, very lush, a lot of greenery. It feels like we've stepped out of one world and jumped into another, but we're in the same universe, which I think is a huge step for the game. I am beyond keen to get my hands on this. I know a lot of people are wanting to get their hands on this as well. Will it be as good as the first one? Who knows? But regardless of the fact, this looks absolutely sensational.
Mine alone. If I falter, if I fail, there won't be anyone left to stop what's coming.
What did you think of my list? Do you agree with my selections? Are these games worth being hyped up for? Are there games that I have missed that you're hyped up for? If there are, feel free to let me know in the comment section down below. If you want to support myself, hitting that like button would be appreciated. If you happen to be new to the channel, hitting that subscribe button would be even more appreciated. If you want to follow me on social media, there's links in the description down below. If you want to check out my top 10 least favourite and best video games of 2020 lists, they'll be in the description as well. Make sure you hit that notification bell so when something brand new hits the channel, you get notified straight away. But that's it from me, guys. I'm out of here, and as always, I will catch you guys next time.